For thousands of years, the emperor's throne belonged to men, but one woman changed everything. Wu Zetian, ruthless tyrant or misunderstood visionary. The forbidden city stood in eerie silence. A woman, draped in golden silk embroidered with the imperial dragon, sat upon the dragon throne, her gaze as sharp as the swords of the guards standing in the shadows. She was Wu Zetian, and for the first time in China's 5,000-year history, a woman ruled as emperor. But behind the grandeur of her reign, a question lingers in history. Was she a ruthless tyrant, or simply a leader too powerful for her time? The rise of a woman who refused to fade, Wu Zetian's story should have ended before it even began. Born in 624 AD, she was destined to be forgotten, just another daughter of a noble family, meant for marriage or exile to a monastery. But her fate changed when she entered the palace as a concubine of Emperor Taizong. Life as a concubine was a game of survival. While others focused on beauty and seduction, Wu Zetian studied politics, war, and philosophy. She observed the men in power, learned their weaknesses, and waited for her moment. When Emperor Taizong died, all his concubines were banished to a Buddhist convent, a final exile where they were expected to live out their days in silence. But Wu Zetian refused to accept her fate. Instead, she did the unthinkable. She seduced the next emperor, Gaozong, Taizong's son. She re-entered the palace, not as a forgotten concubine, but as his favorite consort. Her enemies whispered that she had used black magic and seduction to reclaim her power. But the truth was far more dangerous. She was simply smarter than they were. The most infamous accusation in history. If history is to be believed, Wu Zetian's greatest crime came at the cost of her own flesh and blood. She had given birth to a baby girl, a princess beloved by the emperor. One day, the child was found dead in her crib. The entire palace was in shock. Who had killed the princess? Wu Zetian pointed to the emperor's first wife, Empress Wang. She claimed Wang, in a fit of jealousy, had suffocated the child to remove her as a rival. The emperor, blinded by love, ordered Wang and another rival consort to be imprisoned, tortured, and executed. But rumors spread. Whispers claimed it was Wu Zetian who had killed her own child, framing Empress Wang to eliminate her competition. Did she truly murder her own daughter for power? Or was this propaganda meant to paint her as a monster? Regardless, the result was the same. Wu Zetian became the new empress, the reign of an empress who ruled with an iron fist. When Emperor Gaozong fell gravely ill, Wu Zetian took full control of China. She no longer ruled from behind a curtain. She ruled outright. Ministers trembled before her. Military generals swore loyalty or disappeared. She eliminated those who conspired against her. Some were exiled, others executed, their names erased, their legacies buried. She used a secret police force to root out plots before they could begin. Her critics called her a butcher, a tyrant, a power-hungry despot. But there was another side to her reign, one history often forgets. The achievements of Wu Zetian, a forgotten legacy. Under her rule, China flourished. She expanded the empire's borders, strengthened the military, and perhaps most shocking of all, allowed women to hold positions of power. She introduced the first merit-based government, where she established the Tang Dynasty, breaking away from Tang rule for the first time. Though controversial, her reign was marked by great achievements. Merit-based government. She reformed the civil service exam, ensuring that officials were appointed based on ability rather than aristocratic privilege. This innovation strengthened the empire and became a cornerstone of Chinese governance for centuries. Advancements in agriculture and economy, Wu Zetian, promoted scientific farming techniques, leading to increased agricultural production. She improved taxation policies to benefit the common people and stabilized China's economy. Cultural flourishing. Under her patronage, literature and arts thrived. She promoted Buddhism as the state religion, commissioning grand temples and encouraging the translation of Buddhist scriptures. Military strength. She expanded China's influence, securing victories against the Tibetans, Koreans, and Turks, cementing China's dominance in Asia. Her reign was unprecedented, and while many in the imperial court resented her rule, they could not deny the prosperity she brought to the empire. The tide turns. As the years passed, Wu Zetian grew older. Even in her 70s, she remained sharp and active in governance, but the whispers of discontent grew louder. The Tang loyalists, bitter at the loss of their dynasty, plotted in secret, waiting for the right moment to reclaim power. By the time she reached 80 years old, her health had begun to decline. She had spent decades controlling the court with an iron grip, eliminating rivals and ensuring that only the most loyal stood by her side. But old age made even the mightiest ruler vulnerable. In 705 AD, a group of high-ranking officials, including her most trusted chancellors, launched a coup. They stormed her chambers in the imperial palace, demanding that she abdicate in favor of her son, Zhongzong, restoring the Tang Dynasty. Weakened by illness, Wu Zetian had no choice but to surrender. Unlike other overthrown rulers, she was not executed or exiled. Instead, she was allowed to retire to Shangyang Palace, a quiet and secluded retreat. The final days. Her final months were spent in peace. In the quiet gardens of Shangyang Palace, she reflected on her reign. The empire she had built remained strong, her reforms still shaping the nation. Yet history was often cruel to women who wielded power. She died later that year, and in a rare gesture of respect, the Tang Dynasty buried her alongside Emperor Gaozong at the Qianling Mausoleum. Her tomb was left uninscribed, a silent acknowledgement of her unparalleled reign, one that needed no words to define its impact.